presidente del CoAsIt, Lina Scalfino. Buon pomeriggio, Lina. How are you today?
Bene, grazie. And how are you today?
Yeah, okay, fine, fine. It's a beautiful day. I'm looking out the window now, and it's
Ah,
obviously a summer day because the branches are bare, but it's a nice blue sky.
it has
Not so
been.
good
Yeah.
for the people who want rain or water, but
Yes, we've definitely all wanted rain, and that's been a very positive thing. But it's nice to have a bit of sunshine. It brings out some happy feelings into people's lives.
that's right. Yes. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Okay, so we've been talking about aged care reform quite a bit lately, and there's a
Funny about that.
big changes were due to come in on the 1st of July, but then maybe a week or so ago, the government changed this, delayed things. But can you tell us a bit where we're up to now?
Yeah. Well, as far as we know now, the reforms or the Aged Care Act will now come into play in the 1st of November. So there is just a little pause, really. It's not a long time to wait, and November is not that far away. So what that means is that the Act itself hasn't come into play until that particular date.
So yes, yeah.
However, that doesn't mean that people can relax, providers can relax, and potential clients can relax because we're still trying to get as many people as possible to register with My Aged Care. And this is not new anyway. I think CoAsIt, ever since I can remember, but in particular in the last few years, we've always been focusing on and encouraging people to see whether or not they can apply for My Aged Care if they feel that they need additional support in their homes and also to help manage, if you like, that journey into aging. That hasn't changed. And I know Rosalie has spent a lot of time within the community, definitely putting that to the Italian community in particular. So that's certainly a big priority. And I would really recommend and encourage everybody to ring My Aged Care and to start that process of registration.
So remind me, so does that mean people that already are coming to your programs need to register again?
No, if they're already registered, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
if they're receiving, there are people, however, that are not our clients, are not CoAsIt clients, but participate in some of the activities. So most definitely, when we talk about our own clients and people that attend in their different venues, they are also encouraged if they haven't registered. But this is a plea to anybody in the community.
Well,
So
let me just probe that one. You said there are some people that go to your activities but maybe are not registered. Does registering make a difference for those people?
well, it makes a difference, a big difference, because if they register, then the first thing that happens is that CoAsIt takes on the responsibility to develop a healthcare plan,
Hmm.
in particular with those clients, with those people. So we work in partnership with them and their families and assist them in managing and supporting their health and their decisions. We also are able to connect with different services for them, advise them, and I guess point them in the right direction. We also have a responsibility, CoAsIt has a big responsibility to keep an eye, if you like, on their own health and communicate back to the family if we see some issues that we've observed, and also help them in the reablement, if you like, of their health if they come back to these groups after an accident, for example, if they've been unwell. So we have that responsibility. We have that absolute responsibility based on the aged care standards to support in all those areas of health, preventative health, also health, and managing their healthcare plans. And the healthcare plans are actually updated regularly.
Actually, you reminded me of something I was supposed to do this afternoon, but I haven't got around to. About a
That's good.
healthcare plan. Now. So actually, these services, these activities are extremely important. Just
Yes.
before speaking to you, I was talking to Nadia Clancy, MP, and she's involved in suicide prevention. One of the things she mentioned was connected communities, and that
Yes.
is so important. The social capital and the interaction that it brings, the well-being that it brings to individuals is important, and so that's relevant also to us as we age. I said we, me, and the connectedness and social and psychological well-being is important. It comes up a lot also in the research on longevity.
Well,
Okay.
I think that's
Yes.
very, very true because while socialization is really important in terms of connecting with people generally anyway, whether it's in a social setting and chatting with people and discussing life and anything else that's important, it's also equally important to ensure that there's physical health, there's mental health, emotional health, and also for some people, spiritual health as well. So all of these come together when we think about the whole person and all the elements that make that up in terms of the well-being of someone. So all of those need to be in balance. I mean, they're not always in balance, but at least organisations like Co.As.It could actually support people in supporting them in that area of well-being.
Yes. Now let's have a short break for some messages from our sponsors, and we'll come back to speaking to Lina Scalfino, President of Co.As.It. Now, Lina, I interrupted you earlier. You were talking about the importance of registering. And I said even people who are going to your groups but not registered can benefit, and it's important that this should happen. But you're also encouraging those who have not yet registered, who are not yet going, if they're thinking about it or if they're approaching the right age. Actually, what ages do we
It
start
is
registering?
65. It is 65. So anyone who's 65 and over, you can register. I would like to also say that sometimes people are taken aback. Why I'm okay. And this is, I believe, it's not unusual. People are very proud of what they can do and they see themselves still continuing, and it's all very positive that they can do things. However, if we prod sometimes when we talk to people in the community and we go, hang on, do you think you might need, for example, a little bit of help around the house, for example? You know, do you have some aches and pains that has stopped you recently from doing the things you've always loved? Are you able, for example, do all the wonderful things that you used to do in the garden? Would you need a bit of help there? And they go, oh, yeah, okay. What about, are you able to drive your car, for example? Are you able to get around the way that you used to? Would it be useful having some support there in the transport? Do you find sometimes at home that, well, you can't get to a physio, for example, and you might need some allied health in the home, for example. So some of these things, people are triggered, and they realize that, but maybe they do need a little bit of help. So it's sometimes trying to really support them to understand, if you like, the importance of what are the things that they can actually be supported in. The other thing is sometimes people struggle, if you like, if they've had an accident or if they had an operation, and they may need some modifications in their home. And they may not know that they can get support there if they're registered. If they're registered and they had an assessment and those things that they might need for their ongoing health and well-being, physical, as we've talked to you, particularly their physical health, then registering with My Aged Care is imperative. And I encourage everybody, please, to take that seriously and ring 1800 200 422. So please don't leave it any later than you have to. The other thing, even if you might need one particular thing you might need support in, once you've gone through that process, and it can be a lengthy process, then at least you're registered, you've got a number, and you can ask for the services you like. And you can go to Co.As.It for the social support. You can go to Chich for additional different support. You can go to Unfair. You can go to Bene. You can go to Chich. So there are different organisations in the Italian community where you can actually be supported in different ways and choose the right support for you.
Yes, and once you're in the system, it's a lot easier to get around
You're
and
right.
organise
And
this.
I also talk because the new Act is particularly embedded, if you like, or grounded in not only the the code of conduct, which has already always been there, but also now the Charter of Rights
Okay.
for
Mhm.
and the important thing about this document is that it really is grounded in the Australian government saying anybody receiving funds from the Commonwealth, they're ensuring, if you like, that the older people have access to quality care. They are treated with absolute dignity and respect. There is this thing about now emphasizing that the older person has the right to determine their own future and control their own lives and make decisions about their health, be informed about their health, and also they have the right to be treated as individuals, and from the perspective of multicultural perspective, have the right to practice their own culture, provide and is supported in their language as well. I'm thinking, for example, when someone reverts back to their own language,
Yeah.
particularly if you have dementia, for example. But not only that, some people feel more comfortable communicating in their language. So those sorts of support mechanisms are now enshrined, if you like, in the Charter of Rights. It also, the Charter of Rights provides opportunity for people to make complaints. Not that they don't make complaints now, but it is ensured that there's no reprisals, and that they will be handled promptly. So I think this is very important, and it highlights also what other organisations have been advocating for, associations and organisations like ARIS, for example, where they have the importance of living their lives without abuse and neglect, which we know was something that really prompted the Royal Commission into aged care. So this frames, if you like, the importance of aged care enshrined, if you like, with the Charter of Rights, and that will govern how that links closely with the Code of Conduct and also with the new strengthened standards that will guide providers in managing aged care clients moving forward in the new Support at Home program.
Yes, a lot of those things that you're mentioning earlier seem to connect well with the project you're running in collaboration with Professor Baldassar. We've spoken to her once
Oh,
earlier.
yes.
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 How is that progressing?
Well, that's going really well. I know that particular befriending with Jeannie is the research project that is going on, that is Australia-wide, and it has a national focus as well. I know that there are clients that have access to a program and are currently in that program. And over time, Professor Baldassar will give us a glimpse of how that's going from the perspective of the research project. I can't say much more than that this time round, but hopefully we'll be able to connect with Professor Baldassar so that she can give us an update.
Yes,
But we're certainly...
Yes, I know she's been to Adelaide a few times already, at least
Yes,
twice.
yes, yes. What I can tell you about the program, there are people that are in the research project, and as you know, I think she explained last time, there are two different groups. There needs to be a control group, and also the people that have been that are in the research as well, and they have a different program. They run side by side, and then we'll see what happens after that. But most certainly, that's going to focus on the important, or that is focusing on seeing what the outcome is in terms of people's connectivity to the community, how they feel about being, how they're managing, if you like, their dementia, and also look at their isolation and what can be done to further connect them to the community, if you make sense.
Yes,
I
yes,
think that,
all very interesting. No, interesting and important.
yeah.
Yeah. So actually, we're getting to the end of the program. Is there a final message you would like to give before we?
I think I was just going to, of course, remind people where the groups are and how often they
Yeah.
meet. I think we do that once a month just to support people in case new people are listening.
Yes.
But before I do that, I know there's almost time to go, but I was going to also say how important volunteers are
Yeah.
and how important volunteers will continue to be in the aged care sector. And there is a new level of compliance, if you like, with working with volunteers. In Co.As.It has been very fortunate to be able to promote the importance of volunteering and provide certain training to volunteers, particularly in the area of the aged care and developing their leadership. I think Rosalia has spoken about this in a couple of other interviews in collaboration with Volunteering SA and NT, and that's just finished that particular project. But all volunteers, doesn't matter where they are, particularly in the aged care, they'll need to go through have a police check, be able to do some appropriate training, ongoing training, And also what we've done is also given them opportunity to have first aid training as well. So we will continue to do that because that workforce is going to grow in the future, and we want people, anyone from any background, to support the aged care sector as in all the different ways. Now
That's
back
right.
to our
Yes. So well, actually, let's stay with the volunteers for a second. Are there any particular areas? Are you looking? I'm guessing you're always looking for volunteers, but
always
are there
looking for volunteers.
any
Yes.
particular areas or issues that of major
Well,
interest?
for us, for example, we're still looking for volunteers to support in the current social support groups, but we're also we're also looking to find people in the community who have particular skills and qualities that would like to work with Co.As.It to support some of our current clients, but also to provide other opportunities for groups to meet together for all those things that we've talked about, all the importance of that connectivity, whether it's artistic, whether it's musical opportunities, whether there are people have got skills in photography, or if they have writing skills that like to work with the community to record, for example, their life story or aspects of their story. We're looking for people in the community that are skilled in these areas that would like to work with Co.As.It. So maybe I should stop there and encourage anybody to ring Co.As.It, ring me, ring you, Antonia, given you've got so many people that you know, and see whether you can offer your services and give back to the community in that way. We'd love to have you.
Yes. So you mentioned things like artistic, musical, photographic skills. How could they apply?
Ah, how long have we got? Let's just say that you're musical, and I think we talked about it with Professor Baldassar, the importance of music for well-being, the importance of music, of getting people to sing. I don't see that very often. Okay, so that's engaging the mind, that's engaging the body. So these are all aspects of well-being. Now, if we can find someone that can strum a guitar, that could bring their fisharmonica, or are able to sing, for example, and be interested in singing, that would be amazing for some of our groups.
Yes, well, I know my mother likes listening to music. She always has, and every now and then. She doesn't talk much now. I say, would you like some Pavarotti? I'll put the earphones on. Do you like
Yes.
Mario Lanza? And Mario Lanza was always her favorite. I remember, and you can see that she's enjoying
Yes.
it. Yeah.
Yes. But even some quiet, if you like, mindful sorts of activities. I can imagine that if someone's an artist, and we could provide the paints, or the crayons, or whatever is needed, water paints, and set up something for some of these groups to actually work, be creative. I think that's so important. What about dancing? Someone might be a really good dancer, and we might be able to do some movement exercises with our elderly clients and the community, and they could get up and dance. Perhaps, I mean, a lot of it's wonderful that some of our clubs, the Marca Club included, but we've got lots of clubs, the Sicilia Club, the Campania Club, where you have an opportunity to listen to music and get up and dance on a weekly basis. That is so good for our community. So, but Not everybody can get up and go to these clubs, but we can certainly provide also in our groups the opportunities to do some of these things.
Yes.
So, Antonio,
yes.
who do you know?
Uh,
Can
there,
you
there,
do some of these things, Antonio?
certainly not musical. I've tried in the past, but then had to stop. You said you mentioned you'd like to remind us where your activities are
Yeah, so
held.
we have the Campagna Club in the area of Modbury, and they meet every second Wednesday from 10:30, and they have a variety of different activities. We have the Unley Italian
Mensa?
Community Mensa, and that's every second Wednesday, and they have a really a very delicious Mensa lunch.
Yep.
And that's in the Fullerton area. Then we have the Italian Pensioners Association. They meet every Wednesday and they have a variety of activities. And it's a buzzing sort of a group as well. And that's in the area of Torrensville. And last but not least is the Santa Maria Goretti. That's in the area of Ascot Park. They meet every Monday, but then once a month on the Monday, they also have a very delicious lunch as well. So
Okay.
those are the
Yes.
groups at the moment. And please, if you are interested and you would like to ring Co.As.It on Port Road, we're at Unit 3, 215 Port Road, Hindmarsh. And if you could ring 08 8223 3311. Or you can ring me.
Yes.
0413 603 654.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Well, again, thank you, Lina Scalfino, President of CoAsIt. And we look forward to our next chat in about 4 weeks' time.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Antonio. Thank you for everyone for listening.
Thank you.
And please register.